If you don't feel that you Claude Cowork power user yet, no worries at all, because this video is exactly for you. We'll cover 5 most important features, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly where it fits in your workflow. And no more words, let's get started. First of all, what you need to understand that Cowork is part of your Claude desktop application. Therefore, it has access to your local files and can do with them whatever you want. Here's Cowork, located next to your chat. And for this demo, I prepared a folder called Cowork, and I put some receipts from grocery stores. Let's try to do some funky stuff with them. Hey Cowork, I want you to read receipts from my folder and extract all the content that you see. Specifically, I'm interested in store, in the amount I spent, and in the location. Do that, and I also going to provide you a Notion link. You have to create database and put the information as properties into that database. Here's the Notion link, and let's go. By the way, today I use Opus 4.7, and it is the latest Anthropic model, and as we promised, the most powerful one. So I also interested what we get from it. What we can see here that Cowork started working, it created to-do list for itself, and it's already started creating Notion database. For this operation, it asks me to provide permission, and I don't mind to do that. And we see the to-do list here and the files that Cowork has access to right now, and context of connectors. We're going to discuss it a bit later. Cowork says that it is done. I extracted the data from all 4 receipts and populated a new receipts database inside your Claude Cowork demo page. And if we just can go directly to that database, yeah, here we go. We see that we've got database with receipt, amount, location, and store. So I would say nicely done. Moving on to connectors. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's say you have Gmail or Google Drive or Notion, as we just seen in my example, and you want to get access to those services. It can be easily done with Cowork and connectors. For that, you need to go to Customize tab and tap to connect your apps. And as you can see, there are a lot of connectors, and you can choose whatever you want. Yes, and as you have seen, I already used Notion connector, but let's just go back to our project and make it a bit more complicated. I want to make this project a bit more advanced. Let's go to the Notion database that you just created and add another property called budget. Set a budget to $3,000 and also add another property called money left and calculate how much money left. And now we can explore a bit more this section. So the context now contains Notion connector. Basically, it is Notion MCP server, if you're familiar with the MCP concept. And what is happening right now, that's Cowork created to-do list to complete this task, and we'll use Notion MCP server to pull the database and make requests to create other properties. It asks me right now to allow this task, and yeah, I just want to go for it. So what's cool here, that obviously you give access to your computer, but you also can control what Cowork can do and what it cannot do. You can disable all these permissions questions, but it is general recommendation to, at least when you getting started, to just explicitly confirm on actions that Claude do for you. So just from the very start, follow that principle. And yeah, you see that it is already done. Let's maybe go to Notion database one more time and see what happens here. As you can see, it gets it wrong because we wanted to set just budget for the entire thing, right? Let's just prompt Claude to fix that. I want the budget for entire thing. and calculate the total amount left after all purchases. Well, it just finished the job, and let's read what we received. I removed the per row budget money left from the receipts database and created a new budget tracker database alongside it with a single row that tracks the overall budget. Alright, I see what's happening here. So we now have budget tracker database, and it has a budget property, the money left property, and total spent, which comes from receipts database. And in that database, we no longer have budget property. So that's how it works. And I think that it is much better than what we had before. So let's just stick with that and move to the next feature. Here is the one that saves you most time: skills. In simple words, it's just a workflow. Actually, we just built a workflow for our receipts project. And what we can do, we can say to turn that workflow into a skill, and it will run the same every time that we want. Moving back to Cowork, and let's just do it. I'm going to type here skill creator, and let's dictate the task. I want you to use our chat now to create a workflow. So whenever I upload receipt in my receipts folder, you understand that this receipt is a new one, and you are going to update my Notion databases with that receipt. So my budget tracker project will be always up to date. You might wonder what skill creator command means here, and just a quick explanation. So Claude gives you pre-built skill to build your skills. Whenever you want to create a skill from your chat or just without chat, but just brainstorm and create a new skill, just type /skill creator, and Claude just will use the best practices of creating skills and will do it for you. All right, so as we can see, it started working and saying that I'll design a workflow skill that detects new receipt in your folder and auto updates both Notion databases. Before I start, let me quickly check a couple of design choices for you. How should this workflow run? So let's just start from on demand, because we have not explored what on schedule means yet. Should I confirm before adding a new receipt to Notion? Yeah, just add it. What should I support beyond PNG? I would say maybe JPG and PDF receipts, and also iPhone, why not? So yeah, as you can see, skill creator asking your questions to build the best skill that is possible in your situation. Well, the skill just has been created. It's called receipt to Notion, and as you can see, it has a lot of different aspects here. That is the point to use skill creator, because it just generates for you a pretty advanced workflow and covers a lot of edge cases that you might miss when you just type your workflow manually. So use skill creator, but also don't forget to just check important aspects and maybe do some edits. But for now, I just going to save this skill and let's test it. So I'm going back to my receipts folder and I want to add another receipt from Target, and I'm going back to Claude and I'm typing /receipt to Notion. So we've got this skill, and I don't think that I need to explain anything here. Just let's enter and run it. As we can see, it's already started to working with Notion connector. Compacting happening. If you're wondering, compacting is just how Claude compacts your conversation, because it has context window, which essentially is just limit how much information the model can contain during your session. And because our conversation is long already, so maybe we just close to that limit, and compacting basically just summarizing everything that we just have done here and gives the concise summary to Claude, and it just starting from that point and has much more space to go. All right, you wanted that review on Opus 4.7, and yeah, it uses your tokens as a hell. But yeah, let's just keep going. Well, it says that added one new receipt target, and the budget tracking now shows $207, and it's reflected in the budget. Let's just go to Notion back and verify. And yeah, we see that receipt here, and in budget we also see that amount reflected. So yeah, that is skills, and let's move forward. The next feature we are going to discuss is memory. If you use ChatGPT or Claude in browser, you might notice that it remembers something, but not exactly what you want and what you can control, right? In most of the cases. What you have in Cowork is memory files, and you can actually control them. You have two files, claude.md and memory.md. So the claude.md file, it is just another markdown file in your projects, and this is a place where you write your instructions that Claude will follow, and you do it yourself. The memory.md file is the file that Claude will populate automatically. You just imagine that you have a long conversation and you want just save some aspects from that conversation. You can say, Claude, summarize the most important insights from this conversation and put to memory.md file, and it will do that. And after that, that context will be used in your future conversations. If we go back to Cowork here, we see that we have claude.md file in our folder. Write all letters in your responses backwards. It's going to be fun. Let's save this instruction and just ask something. Yeah, as you can see, I just asked that whether Claude is still here, and we've got this response. Yep, I'm still here. Wonderful. But what is important here is that I want to introduce to you a project that I'm currently working on. It's called OpenUser, and it is the place where people and agents connect. So once I've done with MVP, there will be possibility to register your account, and there will be profile with your preferences, with communication style, with the rules how people or agents can connect or communicate with you. And like there will be two options, the public and the private profile. So private profile you can just use completely safely, connect to your AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, and the context will be synchronized about you. So models knows exactly how to behave with you. And the other public feature is about publicly accessible your profile if you want to. So others, people, agents can also communicate with you. So if you're interested in that kind of project and be early adopter, do not hesitate to go to OpenUser.ai and join the waitlist. And we are moving back to the final fifth feature that wraps everything around. Scheduled tasks are pretty straightforward. What you can do, you can schedule any task to run daily, hourly, weekly, and you can do recurring workflows. Just be aware that for this feature, your computer should be on, and there is a feature in Cowork called Keep Your Computer Awake. I'll show you how to enable that, and yeah, task will be run. And yeah, you can combine also tasks with skills, connectors for fully automated multi-tool workflows. So what we just created with receipts project, I can put on schedule, and let's say weekly to do scans of that folder. To that folder, I can push some photos. You know, it's just agents that we just built. So if we just go quickly to Claude Cowork back, we see scheduled section here. And we see that option to keep computer awake. If I tap this button, it just will be awake, right? And when we create new task, we can name it, put description, put frequency to instruct to work in project. And yeah, basically just run everything that we just done on a schedule. I want to challenge you to use Cowork yourself. It is not complicated. If you have any routine task, you know the way to go. If you have any questions regarding this video, drop comments and I'll make sure to reply to you. Also, I would be interested to hear back about ideas, what you would like to see the next on this channel. So also much welcome all the comments regarding this. And yeah, just I hope to see you in the next one.